So you can see all the definition. This is how you get that volume look without the frizz that everybody says you have to have in volume. So you're looking for a new curly hair routine? Well, you came to the right place because girl, I got you. Welcome back to my archive where we talk all things curly hair. My last curly hair routine was literally 6 months ago, so I feel like it's time for an updated routine. Plus, I've been getting a lot of questions about my updated curly hair routine, and it's definitely not the same as before. So here's what you'll need. You're gonna need a leave-in conditioner and a styling gel. And then you'll need your Demon brush and a detangling brush. You do not want to detangle with this Demon brush. It's not going to go very well for you. And you also need 2 claw clips and a spray bottle. Make sure your spray bottle is full because you're going to need the entire bottle of water. So I just clip one side up. And then I'll do 4 sections on this side and 4 sections on this side. I'm just going to wet my hair and then detangle. Now we're going to get started and we are going to part our first section. This bottom row of your hair. Right here. It's a really small section. It's not that big. I'm gonna clip up the other half. And this is the section that we're gonna work on. So as you can see, it's really damp. And that's the first red flag. If you put your products on like this, you're destined for failure. What you're gonna do is you're going to grab your spray bottle and you're going to soak your hair. Soak your hair. Okay? This is like the main step that a lot of curly girls just don't understand and just don't do, which is why their wash and goes don't come out correctly, and which is probably why you're watching this video, because you need these tips. See how my hair looks like it already has product in it? Yeah, that's how soaking wet your hair should be. So we're gonna go in first with our leave-in cream. So you're just gonna rake in your leave-in cream and make sure it's evenly spread out. And you see how there's like, it's clumping together? That's a good sign. Now we're gonna get our gel. This gel is so good. I literally use like half the container. It's good for summertime because it's a humidity gel so that your hair doesn't poof up when you're outside. Ow. And it is summertime, so it definitely comes in handy. Damn. Oh my god. That was too hard. I don't know why. Anyways, you're going to add your gel and rake it through as well. Now, after you're done doing this step, your curls shouldn't have any frizz. Everything's clumped together, and that's a good sign. That's how you know you're ready for the next step, which is to style. We're gonna grab our styling brush, and we are going to part the bottom half, like so, and put the other half on top. So this is the section that we're gonna style and work with. And you're going to take your brush, put it under, and then just kind of brush it like that, and shake the curls down. If the curls are in too big of clumps, you could just separate them like that. I don't like big clumps because I don't like to separate my hair like when I'm done. The less big clumps you have, the more volume you'll get. So if you want that volume, make sure you separate these clumps while they're still wet. And that's how it should look. See how there's no frizz? So if it's frizzy while wet, it's gonna be frizzy while dry. Now we're gonna move on to our next section, and we're just gonna part the same way and grab the small section and do the same thing. And shake it off, and then break the big clumps. Me personally, I don't like to scrunch. If you have a looser hair type, then you probably might want to scrunch just to get that extra pop in your curls. But I don't. Honestly, I find that scrunching just makes my hair extra frizzy for no reason. So I don't scrunch. I just shake the curls like this. Shake, 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 and then let them fall. Now, if these curls are too like separated, like so, see how it could be one big clump? I just clump them up. Because really small sections is just gonna be like frizz. So like little tiny pieces that I find like this, it should be one curl. It shouldn't be all too like separated. So it's really about like learning your hair. But yeah, that's the end of this section. Now for the next section, I split my head in half. I split right here. This is gonna be like kind of a big section, but you literally do the same thing you did for the back section. You don't have to use the same products as me. Just research and see what products work best for your hair. You're definitely gonna need a bit more products on this because it is a bigger section. And remember, your hair should clump together. See how it's like clumped? That's how it should be. Now we're going to part the bottom section. And you see, this is like too big of a section for my brush. So what I'm gonna do is just part it again and get a smaller section. You wanna work in really small sections, you don't wanna overdo it. And you see how tiny these curls are? That is frizz. So what you wanna do is clump them together with like 2 other pieces. like that, and just finger coil to make one curl, because you don't want frizz. That's the whole point of this curly hair routine. No frizz. You can do the same, grab the little pieces and flip them up, just shake them. I'm gonna finish this and then I'll show you guys how to part the next section. So I finished the first 2 sections and now I'm gonna get to like more of the front part of my hair. Me personally, I kind of am in love with the slick backs. So my hair is like very thin in the front, as you can see. So it's a little weird when I get to the front of my head, but I'll show you how I do it. You're going to split this in half, and the front is going to be really small for me. I don't know about you. Hopefully it's bigger, but I just split it into 2 and then take this section and do the same exact thing. And then I'll show you guys how to do this front section because it's a totally different process, and it's very important because the front of your hair is like the gold mine for a great curly hair routine. You want to know how to style the front of your hair so that it comes out really good. So I'm going to put you guys on. Okay, so now that I finished the first 3 sections, I'm going to move on to the front section. Like I said, it's really thin up here, so you should have hair there, but we'll work with what we got. I'm just going to silk it like I normally would. I definitely get a little heavy-handed with the gel up here because it's the front of my hair, so I want it to look really good. Also, it might be a little too late if you're following along with me, but for the back of my hair, I use a lot more gel because it tends to get more frizzy back there, so I add a lot of gel just to hold that frizz down. So hopefully I'm not too late and you didn't do the back of your head already. If I am too late, I'm sorry, but now you know. So I'm just gonna brush this part and finger coil. So basically nothing new. I just finger coil the front section of my hair because I want it to look really good. This is another thing that a lot of curly girls don't do. I don't know why. I don't have time to finger coil my whole head. So I finger coil the front sections just to get the curls to look how I want them to look. It just brings the whole look together. If you don't know how to finger coil, I'm literally just breaking my hair apart and twisting the pieces into like their little own curl family. I'll show you at the top. I group these pieces together. So I'm gonna take some pieces and that's gonna be my front curl. You wanna do the pieces that they naturally go with. And then you just twist the curl and shake it, let it fall. And you wanna do the same for the rest. Find where they naturally fall and twist. But I just think of it like a little hair family. See how it's grouping itself? You just go based off that and twist and then do a little shake. See, look, 4 curls just naturally make their own little family. And that's it. That is the styling process for my curly hair. As you see, there is no frizz. If there is frizz, you're going to have frizz when it's dry. Sadly, that's just how curly hair works. You want your hair soaking wet because more water equals less frizz. Frizz is because it's dry and dehydrated. So when you give it a little bit of water and a little bit of light, the frizz disappears. Okay, so I finished styling my hair and the last step is to just do my edges and then we'll get to diffusing. Now it's time to diffuse, and honestly, this is the most important part of the process. You could have an amazing styling process and a horrible diffusing routine and your curls will be ruined. All that hard work you did on your hair for no reason at all because all you did was ruin it with the diffuser. You're so very lucky because you're watching my video. For me, my problem was shrinkage. I would literally cuff my hair up to dry it and then my hair would just be shrunk up and then be all frizzy and messy, which is not how you're supposed to diffuse at all. What you want to do is you want to dry your roots first and then you want to dry the middle and then you dry your ends. My method is called the hover method, so I do not touch my curls when I'm drying my hair until they're like 80 to 90% dry. But when my hair is in its wet stage, I don't touch the hair. I let it dry so that I can keep the length and not have any shrinkage. So what you want to do is you want to focus on your roots and dry them completely. Once your roots are about 80% dry, you want to move down to your middle section and dry that on the inside inside, and just throughout the middle of your hair. So then once your roots and the middle sections are 80% dry, you're going to have your ends which are still going to be wet, which is completely fine. You don't want to dry from the ends up because then that's going to lead to puffy roots and it's just going to be uneven and it's not going to look good. So once that's done, you want to hover over your ends. And then once all your hair is 80% dry, you can then, cuff it up a little bit and just start to touch your hair to feel where there's any wet spots left so that you can fully dry your hair. The settings I put it on is high heat and a high fan. It personally doesn't damage my hair, so I just be going crazy. But you might want to be mindful about it. But yeah, that's it. So I'm finally done diffusing my hair, and as you can see, it did not shrink up, and I have a really good gel cast, and it's very shiny. Now I'm going to show you guys how to get that volume that I promised in the beginning of the video. You're going to grab a hair oil. I'm using the Redken Naked Gloss Lightweight Shine Oil. It's very important that you use a lightweight oil. You don't want a heavy oil because it's just not going to be good for your hair, and it's just going to lead to a lot of buildup. So as you can see, the curls are very stiff. It's not a lot of volume. It's just, definition. What you're going to do is grab your hair oil. And you don't need a lot. You just need to lather your hands. It's really for your hands more than your hair because when you touch your hair, it creates frizz. So when you have the oil on your hands, it won't create a lot of frizz. So we're just going to use the prayer hand method and go like that. And as you can see, my curls already popped and got bigger. And I'm just going to do that for this whole side. As you can see, the curls are more fluffy and it's less of a harsh gel cast. This is the difference between the sides. Obviously you can see a little bit more volume going on. This is not all the volume. I'm definitely going to get more, but just with that alone you can see the volume difference. And now we have volume. Depending on how big you want your hair, you can separate your curls. What you're gonna need is a scrunchie. You don't want a tight scrunchie because obviously you don't want to mess your curls up. And you're just gonna work your hair in sections. So you're gonna section off some of your hair. Be careful with splitting the curls. And you're just gonna put it up. And then you'll be working with this section of hair. Just grab big clumps of hair like this and just separate the curls as they naturally form. Like this. I'm just separating them. And when you're done with that, you could just take this piece out, add a little bit more oil on your hands, and then part that and just section your curls. And you want to be really careful because if you section too much, it can create frizz. I'm not separating the individual curl like that. Like I'm not breaking this curl in half. I'm just taking the curls apart from the other curls. See how it's tangled with other curls? And just stacking it on top of each other just to get that voluptuous look without having to make my curls more frizzy. This is the difference from separating, and then this is before separating. So it really just depends on the look that you're going for. So now I'm going to do this side. Honestly, I don't like too much volume up here. So I just shake the back out. Then I'll shake the top out a little bit, but fluff until you think it looks nice. Now I'll give you guys a little 360, but that's pretty much it for this styling routine. This one was more for volume and definition. My last one was just straight definition. So you can see all the definition, but there's still a lot of volume. Very fluffy. I don't have any harsh middle parts. If you do, you can just shake it out like this. And that is it for my curly hair routine. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comments. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see about curly hair because, girl, I'm all about the curly hair. So yeah, if you made it to the end, I really do appreciate you. Make sure you spread love, express gratitude, and I'll see you girlies in the next video.